Good morning. On this bowl of Question Crunch, Brianna and Josh are here to answer questions about their nerdy merchandise store, Atomized, as well as answering other various questions about anime, video games, and pets that have their own Instagram accounts. So, you guys are two of my favorite people in the world. We've been friends for a long time, and you recently opened up an online store called Atomize, right? I'm saying it right, right?
Yep.
It's not Atomize?
No, it's atomized.
Atomized.
Atomize?
There are people who call it
There
some strange thing.
Yeah, we've got some pretty weird pronunciations of it. Like some of them, they don't even get the word right at all. I'm like, have you actually seen the word? Do you know how it's spelled? And it's pretty good.
I know the one. Everybody calls it atomizer.
Atomizer.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
where
the
did
other
that
thing.
come from?
They always add an R to the end of it for some reason, and I'm like, really? All right, cool.
I feel like that sounds like a super villain kind of thing. It's just you take a verb and you add an R, and suddenly there's a villain.
Yeah,
Exactly.
atomizer. The
Yep.
atomizer.
Yep.
I'm so glad that it was just that they add an R. Because
Yeah.
one time I worked with someone and they asked me about the new Avenger movie, and they put the emphasis on the wrong syllable, and they're like, hey, so have you seen the new Avengers? And I was like, the what?
Oh,
And they
oh
said the
no.
Avengers. I'm like, the Avengers?
Oh no. Oh no.
What?
It's weird because they pronounced it correctly. They hit the vowels correctly. It sounds weird when you say the Avengers.
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 I want to write like
Avengers
a sitcom now.
assemble.
Yeah. I want to write like a sitcom. Meet the Avengers.
That would be funny. Just Tony Stark like typing up something and then
Yeah, exactly.
I
Exactly.
just for the people who are listening to the podcast, I did the whole sitcom opening of doing something random and then looking up at the camera to smile.
Exactly.
So, what is atomizer? What is atomizer?
We're done here. Let's get. Let's go.
You asshole.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So, atomize is basically, we like to consider it the particles of pop culture. So it's all the things that we love about pop culture kind of mashed together and in one spot, just kind of letting us express ourselves creatively and just share the things that we love with other people. So sometimes that stuff is really well known to a lot of people. Sometimes it isn't. We just kind of like to share the things that we love
Yeah.
and just see who else loves it too, essentially. So
And it could be, I mean, Atomize is like all things pop culture, so it can range from anime to comic books to just like any realm of pop culture. It might just pop up. Like we have, for example, pins for the Spice Girls, like kind of in the pipeline.
mhm.
So just whatever we love, like whatever we're feeling at the time,
Yep,
that's just
that's what it is.
what Atomize is.
Yeah, cool.
So the Spice Girls one, I'm really looking forward to that. Are you gonna nerd up the Spice Girls, or are you gonna keep them just in the regular outfits that people can recognize?
So right now we have just like character faces that we did, pins. I drew them up and Josh vectorized them. So that's kind of like how we are with Atomize. It's usually me, like my direction in Atomize is the art, and Josh is the finisher, the marketing, and everything
Yeah.
else. I just get to draw all day.
She gets to draw, and then I'm the one who just kind of puts it together for consumption, essentially.
Until
So-
I
That's
get
that is a perfect setup. Like
until I
Okay,
get
Josh.
an iPad Pro, then
Yeah.
I'm taking the
and
business.
then she's gonna take the company. We're gonna divorce. She's gonna take the dog and the company. She's gonna leave Pickles with me.
all it takes is an iPad Pro. It's like ah ha ha.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's all it takes.
You get an iPad. Josh gets you an iPad Pro for your birthday. You're like sucker, and you run.
I'm just like, I'm taking the dog, and he's just like, what?
Um, I am not too familiar with anime characters, but the stuff that you have on Atomized are pretty awesome. I'm very impressed, and I think they are able to be consumed by people who are not immediately going like, "Oh, I know that character." I think it's just your artistic integrity and abilities just stand out and make it very amazing. I love it. I think it's
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you.
So where did the idea of Atomized come from? Where were you like, we need to show our nerdiness to everyone and make it money?
Pretty much.
Pretty
No,
much, yeah.
No.
Go ahead.
Yeah. We've always been very creative people, and we just wanted to have an outlet for that. We were constantly working on things together and kind of just like having our own personal projects that we work on our own, and we decided that it was something that we wanted to share with people, because it's cool to us, and we know that there's a niche for like cool, weird, obscure things like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere. We're still trying to find it.
Yeah.
There's a market for everything.
Yeah, there's a market for everything. I came up with the name Atomize probably maybe 12 years ago. The name initially was meant to be the name of like kind of like an urban like art gallery kind of thing. Like it was very much going to focus on like skateboard art, vinyl toys, things like that. And that name just seemed to suit a gallery like that. And I just kind of, obviously nothing came about with that, but I loved the name, so I kept it in my back pocket. And then one day I was just kind of messing around, and I came up with this brand for Atomize, and it just clicked. And we were like, why don't we use that? Why don't we take this and kind of make it our outlet to express ourselves creatively and just share the things that we love? And one thing led to another, and here we are.
I think it's fantastic. I think that it speaks so much to comic books, to video games, to cartoons, to toys, that just so many characters use atoms. It's such a really retro concept of like atomize.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's part
fantastic.
of it. The nostalgia of it, such things like that, things that people appreciate and love from childhood, stuff like that. That's what we were kind of going for.
Yeah, just all the things that have kind of helped shape all of us to be who we are today, So. Now,
you guys were saying that you're both creative, you both work on projects, and then we were talking about the years of I assume that you both have watched cartoons in your life.
Nope, not once.
What? Not once. Moving drawings? What is that? That's
yeah.
That's
my drawings
kids.
don't move. Why don't my drawings move?
Do you ever hear that sometimes when people criticize people who like cartoons as being like, no, you're an adult, you shouldn't watch cartoons anymore?
I hate that.
It's the worst.
It's the worst.
Those are the worst kind of people.
Yeah. I do not enjoy those types of people.
I've always wanted, I've told them, I'm like, who do you think makes cartoons?
Exactly.
It's just like 50 kids. They just cycle out children.
It's just a sweatshop of cartoons.
It's a sweatshop of children making cartoons.
I'm like, so you think that kids are making this, or these are adults who don't like cartoons themselves? They're just like, oh.
They're such adults,
yeah.
But they hate their job too. That's the thing, because everybody has to hate their job when they're an adult. So
wouldn't that make it still a sweatshop?
I guess so.
If the adults are making cartoons and they're not
I
having
guess
a good time,
yeah,
it's still a sweatshop.
I can't even imagine. Like, that's just a funny thing to think about. It's just like someone going at the animator going for Bob's Burgers and being like, oh God, what are they doing today?
Yeah. We're working on this today.
Exactly.
She's screaming. I guess I have to make a bunch of keyframes for that.
Show me the storyboards.
Fuck my life.
There's a gun to his head, 24 frames per second. I thought it was only 18 this episode.
I need a drink after today.
With that kind of attitude, it's 50 now.
Oh, no.
Well, what is your careers in art? Like, what's your history with art? Because you were mentioning that you were creative. I want to know, like, what your schooling, what is your history with art?
Well, I've been a graphic designer for 14 years. I went to the Art Institute of California, Hollywood. Went there for 2 years. That's how I met essentially all of you. One thing led to another, and I've designed for a ton of industries: esports, video games, outdoor, automotive, entertainment, all kinds of stuff. And I've always kind of drawn. I like loved to draw when I was a kid. My mom's like dream for me when I was a kid was to be a cartoonist, and I just did not want to do that at all for some reason. I was like, no, I like to draw, but like, why would I want to be a cartoonist? I knew about the sweatshop thing. It was because I knew about the sweatshop thing. I knew what the future would be like. Yeah. And I kind of stumbled into graphic design by accident. I went to school for welding, learned how to weld, decided it was super, super boring, and then had to switch classes because it was at a vocational school. So I literally just essentially just out of a list, I just pointed my finger at the first thing that was on the list, and it was e-commerce for like web design and things like that. And then that was where I picked up graphic design for the first time, and it just never looked back. So it's really random, but
welding was too boring.
Welding was boring. It takes like 20 minutes to go like 2 inches if you're making a really solid weld, and I'm like, I ain't got patience for this shit, man. Like this is just horribly boring. Like Jesus, no. I just couldn't do it.
20 minutes to get to 2 inches?
That's what she said.
No, so if you're trying to make a really solid weld to really keep like a really heavy piece of metal in place, like you just have to just kind of just take your time and just move really slowly if you're really trying to hold it in place solid. And it just takes a long time. Like you can tack weld to help it hold in place, but if you're really trying to like do a solid weld, it takes a long time. So tack welds are just like 1, 2. You just kind of tack it on and it'll hold.
Oh yeah, tack welds. Yeah,
a tack weld. Yeah.
Thanks for explaining all that.
I'm just I don't know who's listening, you know.
Somebody, a welder's like that.
We have a welding fan who will.
Yeah. A welding fan, and I didn't have the patience for welding, so I just decided to not do that anymore, and then I just basically accidentally picked graphic design and really enjoyed it. So
I feel like I'm lied to by all the movies that make welding seem like just, you put down the thing,
Oh, you are.
Like,
you very much flying. So are. Yeah, you very much so are.
That's depressing. Like next time I see someone, it's like, oh, let's build this weapon. It's gonna be boring.
It's not as exciting.
It's not the Mandalorian at all.
Yeah, it's not the Mandalorian. It's not as exciting as Tony Stark makes it seem.
Yeah.
It's just.
I'm glad you said Mandalorian, because I've always been upset about that. It's like, oh man, our ship's been destroyed. Don't worry, we got a night.
Exactly.
How many hours do we have? Oh, just a few? That's okay. That's all right. We got this. So, Bryanna.
Yeah, I don't know if my background is that interesting, but I'm just a girl who's been drawing since she was really little. When I was in high school, I went to an art high school. I started my career in making hats out of recycled sweaters from the thrift store, and that was kind of a thing I was doing for a while. I would sell them at the art galleries in downtown Pomona, and after I graduated high school, I worked at an art store for a very short amount of time, but I loved it. I was teaching art to kids from 6 to maybe like 15. Just, like basic art stuff, but it was like one of the funnest jobs I've ever had. Ever since then, I've kind of bounced back and forth between art. Like I kind of jump out of it, get like super bad art block, and then jump back in it. But I've been a lot more consistent now, and I'm trying to stay that way. So
our art block can be super frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
Very much so.
I think it's awful when like I'll have a thing, or I'll have like an idea, a subject that I really want to cover, and I'm like, I don't know how to write this.
Yep.
This sucks.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm just staring at this piece of paper.
That's it. I quit. Give me a cubicle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like if I stare at this white sheet long enough, things will happen.
Speak to me.
Please tell me what I'm trying to do.
What do you want from me?
So I think someone asked me recently. They're like, "So when you get a blank white sheet, what do you do from there?" I was like, "You tell me." Like, what high school did you go to? What art school?
I went to the School of Arts and Enterprise in downtown Pomona.
Mm-hmm.
So
'Cause
it's, huh?
Oh, I was gonna say, I remember when you and I used to go to the Pomona Art Walk, and you would be like, "Oh, hey, here's 1,000,000 of my friends."
Yeah.
That's why.
That's literally why, because we all went to school right there in the heart of downtown Pomona. So like everybody who went to my school all went to the second Saturday art walk. Like that was just the thing that we all did. So it was just like I couldn't walk I couldn't walk 2 feet without someone going, "Oh, hey, hey."
Oh, I remember.
It was rough being that popular, guys.
I was just walking through with Bryanna, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm back at Comic-Con. Great."
Don't worry though, I'm not that popular anymore, so.
I refuse to believe that.
Depends on where.
But I remember when you were getting into hats, and you got you coined the Red Hatter, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I still think that's such a cool, cool name to have.
Yeah, I'll never give that name up. That was just, I don't know. It's funny because I was making the hats originally with my mom, and we were trying to come up with a name to call ourselves or whatever. And my mom wanted to call it something like Metamorphosis because, we were taking these old sweaters and making them into something new again. And I was like, literally none of my friends are going to like that at all. And she was like, "You don't understand." I was like, "You don't understand. We should call us the Rad Hatter." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, because it's like mad, but we're rad." And she was just like, but it stuck. People loved it.
Metamorphosis, huh?
Metamorphosis.
She was trying to be edgy about it.
She was so like 90s edge.
Yeah, she wanted something really like high fashion,
But you'd have to spell metamorphosis wrong.
Yeah, it has to be absolutely wrong.
It's got to be like metamorphoses.
Metamorphosizer.
Metamorphosizer. I kind of want this episode to be called the Metamorphized. I was going to do Atomized breakfast, and I still might, but Metamorphized? I don't know. We'll see. Are you gonna have like any kind of like Rad Hatter pin, or do you already have one? Like, because I don't think I've seen one.
It's not a thing, but it is a thought.
Okay.
It is a thought. Maybe in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to have a blog for a while, and that was kind of like it's separate a bit from Atomized, but I don't know. We'll see. Play around with it.
Yeah.
We have to get your pets Bones and Pickles to get more internet famous, because I would gladly buy pins of those two.
Well,
Honestly,
if it's any consolation, the dog's been trying to jump in my lap for the last 10 minutes, but there's not room for it.
Okay, I'm just saying I would not be opposed to this.
True.
I
will say Pickles is internet famous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she still does have an Instagram out there.
It's true.
And she has, or actually, I think she still has more followers than Josh does currently.
Yeah. I'm not the cool one here.
All right, well, that means I have to share Pickles' Instagram. I need more. I need to keep getting her fandom to rise.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. I mean, I don't update it at all anymore. I probably haven't in like 3 years, but it's there.
It's been a few years.
It's there.
But like those same pictures just keep going through, man. They just keep cycling through the internet every couple of years, and
it's actually hilarious. For a while when I was really like running it, like all these other famous cat people would like contact me and send me cards from their cats for Pickles, and I'm like,
Yeah,
is this a weird thing that we're doing right
yeah.
now?
Pickles actually got like 3 or 4 Christmas cards one year from other cats. It was really weird. That was weird.
I think that's when I stopped. I was like,
yeah, that's when we gave it up. That's when things
I
got
probably
weird.
shouldn't give my address out to random crazy cat ladies on the internet.
That's when things got weird.
That's funny. Just the whole idea of like, oh man, I want to make an Instagram for my cat. Never mind. There's crazy people online.
Oh my god.
I feel like I'm followed by a bunch of pets on Instagram. Like whenever I see like a name and then an and another name, I'm like, I bet they're pets.
It's true. I have like these cute Boston Terriers that follow me, and I'm like, Bones doesn't have an Instagram. Why am I being followed by someone's Boston Terriers?
Yep.
I think I'm followed by a few Boston Terriers. I know.
See?
I just whenever I see
around.
whenever I see a like on my image, I see that name. I'm like, you guys, dogs can't. Dogs don't care. Dogs don't care about my cartoons. Come on.
They might.
They're trying to get your cartoons to care about them.
True.
One time, I think I might have already told you this story, but one time I was in Claremont, and I might have even mentioned it on my podcast. I have no idea. One time I was at Claremont, and I wanted to draw this guy. Like he had this really cool bushy beard, and he looked adorable. And I was like, hey, would you like a free drawing? And he's like, no, but you could draw my cat. And I was just like, no. Because I didn't see a cat with him.
Yeah, what?
No.
I didn't want him to A, show me photos of his cat, because now we're in a conversation, and B, what would have been worse is if he described his cat.
Yeah, that's true. All of that is horrible.
He's like, oh, he's got eyes like an angel. I'm like, all right, cool. So how do I draw an angel's eyes? I am a big fan of your pins, and like I said, I can't wait for the Spice Girls pins. And you mentioned like having like really weird things that you love in all of nerdom. And I know you both are avid gamers. What obscure video game would you want as a pin that most people you're not gonna make it because it's too obscure, and everyone would be like, what the fuck? But you want it.
Yes.
So honestly, first off, hell no, I'll make it if I want to. But
I like that. I know where you're coming from.
Yeah. But for me, it would be Klonoa.
Which is?
Klonoa is he's like a mascot platformer similar to like Crash Bandicoot, Mario, Sonic, but he's less well known. He's a rabbit who just dresses really cool. He's a black and white rabbit who dresses really cool, and he has like a ring called the Wind Ring that shoots wind bullets and stuff.
Okay.
Klonoa's character design is one of the coolest things. Like, it is very cool. So it would definitely be Klonoa.
I'm not gonna Google. I was tempted to Google them just so I could know what you're talking about, but I'm like, no, I like to just have it in my head, and I'll look it up later.
I'm just gonna send you a picture of him at like 2 a.m, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck?
2 a.m. might be late for you, but
it'll be late for me. I'm making a sacrifice here.
Okay. I think that if you send it to me when you woke up, that would be more annoying for me.
You're right. Yeah, I'll send it when I wake up for work at like 6 o'clock.
Correct. That's more. That's awful.
Yeah.
And Bryanna, what's your? Hopefully it's also a bunny.
It's not. It's very.
Damn
it's
it!
Very off. It's very different from that. I was thinking if I were gonna make a pin of something from an obscure video game, it would have to be honestly something from Abe's Odyssey.
Nice.
And I was thinking maybe like one of the soda machines or like one of the vending machines from that, because they're really cool and they have a lot of different ones. So like I think like a series of that would be really fun to play around with.
That'd be cool.
I actually love that.
Yeah.
The bunny is great because I like bunnies, but I have no idea what you're talking about. But Abe's Odyssey, I'm like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah.
I felt like I recently did a Disneyland art challenge, and when I made pin trading, I was like, all right, cool. I want to think of really obscure characters that no one would want, and so all three of those characters, I was just like, I would love it, and that's why I always want to know what's obscure stuff that people wouldn't like. One of them is I think Surefoot Sue, which is the cowboy lady from. Do you guys have Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been watching Melody Time. Have you watched
Okay,
Melody
yeah,
Time?
yeah.
That was a blast from my past. I wasn't even ready for that. And then so I saw Surefoot Sue riding that fish, and I'm like, this is overly sexual. Because you've seen that, right? Where her skirt's all flapping up
Yeah.
and she's riding this fish. I'm like,
Yeah.
hmm.
Wait a minute.
People nowadays, when they're saying like, oh, Disney cartoons shouldn't be that sexual, I'm like, you haven't been paying attention.
Yeah.
No. They get real.
Yep.
Some of that older stuff.
And you're both big anime fans, right? Am I reading that correctly?
Very much
Absolutely.
so.
Where did that love start?
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
For
For
me-
me, at least.
For me, it was actually probably Dragon Ball Z. I started watching Dragon Ball Z like when I was pretty young. Didn't realize it was anime. I just thought it was a super badass cartoon that was just a lot. And then a friend of mine kind of turned me on to similar shows to it, like it and stuff. And that was kind of how I fell down the anime hole pretty hard. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think for me, it would have been Pokemon. And it's honestly similar to what Josh is saying, is I didn't really know that was an anime, but I knew that I really loved it, and I fell in love with the characters, and I love the idea of watching a story rather than just kind of a show that's nonsense. That's, you know what I mean? Cartoons are great, but this was going somewhere, and you're actually invested in it. And I didn't really know that that's what I was doing at that time, but I was really, really into it.
Yeah.
I
think one of the things that separates anime from a lot of other typical cartoons is anime is just one long form story that's just being told out over the course of years. And a lot of cartoons, like she said, they're very monster of the week. They're very okay, this is what's happening this week. This is the conflict for this week. And anime doesn't typically follow that format. If you miss a couple episodes, you're going to be
a little bit
lost about what's going on because shit happens pretty quickly. So, and
that's a good thing.
It's a good thing, yeah. And that long form storytelling can really pay off to really get you attached to characters and stuff pretty hard. Yeah. So
I feel like I became a fan of Pokemon's merchandise more than the actual game, because I'm not a gamer.
Yeah.
So I was late to the game. I feel like all my friends were all playing the card game, and I'm not a gamer, so I was just like, whatever. Those are cool, awesome. And all my friends had their Game Boys, and they're like, oh, check it out, it's Pokemon. I'm like, that's cool. And then when the cartoon came out and the toys came out, I was like, all right, I got this.
Yeah. I was actually the same until I got older. I never had a Game Boy or anything like that, and my mom didn't really see the value in handheld games. So I had a PlayStation, but I didn't have a handheld game, so I never played Pokemon. But I think Pokemon also is part of my love of collecting, because I wanted to collect everything. I wanted to collect them all, obviously, but I wanted everything Pokemon. I mean, literally, if you could see behind us, I still have stuff from when I was 5 years old, or not 5, but when I was really little. But I have stuff that's from then that is my Pokemon collection. I have cards in the closet over here. I still have stuff. Yeah. Pokemon. I'm Pokemon diehard.
I was really confident about your age, and then you said 5 years old, and I was
no,
hang on.
I messed that up really bad. I was actually.
That's okay. You don't have to actually say your age.
No, I know. But I'm thinking about it. Maybe I wasn't. Anyways, that's not the point.
Yeah.
I love it.
For me, as far as Pokemon goes, I was very much the opposite of you guys. Like,
You were playing the games.
I was playing the games. Like, I played them hard. Like, I actually was a member of the Pokemon League.
This guy.
I had
always
I
has
like,
to show some.
yeah, I had all 8 badges. Like, I fucking won hundreds of battles in the Pokemon League because I played the game like serious, and then like, I think I just got bored of it because that's when I started playing Magic.
Because he was just so good at everything, you know.
No, because I started like drifting to other card games. Like I started playing Magic the Gathering and like Digimon. Whoa. And like
you
I
really
just
fell down.
I fell down the card game hole real hard for many years. Like I was big into Magic for a long time, so yeah.
Once I became the very best, like no one ever was.
Yeah. Then I
had to travel to like distant lands
after that.
Yeah. So. I was done after that. I had to travel to distant lands and shit and go from there. So.
You had to go to distance.
Yeah, I had to go the distance.
I also have my whole Pokemon collection still here. Not as awesomely displayed as yours, but I still have it. And I'm like, Jimmy, you should really display it. I'm like, yeah, I could.
You should do it.
You could, and you should.
You should display it.
Because like I do Burger King, and I think I also mentioned this on my podcast, but Burger King had like the gold-plated cards.
Yeah.
So freaking
Those were awesome.
And the gold-plated cards were cool, but the best part about it was the Pokeball it came in.
Yes.
Yeah. Because they were like life-size. Like it felt real. Like you were holding a Pokeball in your hands.
And they had a slow spring.
Yeah. And it was like a pretty solid like wish fulfillment, you know?
It was, yeah. It really was.
I have it, and it's still my favorite thing to have, just because like you press the button and it slowly moves up, and I'm just like, that's cool.
Yeah.
So true.
I'm pretty sure it's Meowth. That's
nice.
I'm pretty sure that's the one in my Pokeball. I'm keep looking off to my left because I know that's where my collection is.
It's over here.
I'm reading my notes. That's dramatically to my left.
Yeah.
What anime intro is your favorite? I only ask that because like I feel like anime intros can often be just batshit crazy.
Oh yeah. That is really hard to kind of like pinpoint, and like there's a lot. They're all so good.
Yeah.
But if I were to pick like, I'm gonna say a top 3.
Go for it.
I would say the intro to
do 1.5.
1.5. I would say one of the intros that I really love is an anime called Nana. Nana is about these 2 girls that met kind of like by fate. One's this punk rock girl, and one is like this kind of like materialistic, just like, I don't know, like preppy girl, but they like become best friends, and I don't know, it's just the really cutest. Actually, it's the saddest. Don't ever watch it. It's really sad. It's the saddest anime I've ever watched in my life, but it's really good.
Nana's really cute until you actually start watching it, and then it fucks you up. Like, it's too real. It's too real, man.
That opening is really good, though. It's like hard riffing, like rock music, and like, I don't know. It's awesome. But then other one that I really like is completely opposite to that, and it's called Sakamoto, and I don't even know how to describe it, because again, like you said, the anime intros are just so ridiculous, and that is like why I love it so much. The song,
it's a prime example.
Everything about it is just ridiculous, like all the way to the next level ridiculous. So I don't know, those are the ones that I love. And I'm trying to think and the last one would be Mob Psycho season 2, because same reason, all the way to like the next level ridiculous.
Yeah.
The music and the scenes and everything.
Yeah.
I'm looking super forward to check these out.
Yeah.
We'll send you YouTube links.
I would love them. Josh's description of Nana almost sounded like a Shakespearean description of love itself. Like, it looks
Honestly,
cute. It looks cute. You like it. You love it. But once you get in, it will fuck you up.
It is.
Nana is like a very real love story. Like it handles love in a very like it handles like love and adult relationships in like a really weird, super realistic way. Like just the way everyone interacts with each other, the way the relationships are handled. Like you're
Kind
not
of.
watching an anime, you're watching a fucking soap opera.
Yeah.
And it's really good.
Just like the miscommunications, things. Oh God, it's so. Oh man,
Yes.
I'm gonna cry. No, just kidding. It's so
I
good.
I don't know how I feel about fictional characters with love being too real. Did you watch that most recent Muppet show?
No.
Nah.
They had Miss Piggy and Kermit break up, and it was too real. And I'm just like, I don't ever want to fucking see that again.
Don't ever put me through this shit ever again.
They did that, and I was like,
No.
nope,
No.
no.
I can't handle this trauma.
I'm perfectly fine with you guys not being able to figure out what you are, but don't ever do that again. Don't
Yeah.
ever do.
No, it's so true.
Yeah.
It's like I can literally watch Attack on Titan, people getting eaten, like freaking slashing throats, all these things. But then you talk about love. We're watching like a real love story, and that fucked me up more than
Yeah.
Attack on Titan.
It's true.
So terrible.
Now, Josh, your intros?
So I don't really have a top 3 like she does, but I do have 3 choices, but they're kind of like separated. So my favorite most recent one is from an anime called Demon Slayer, and Demon Slayer's opening is
So good.
gorgeous. Like it's one of the most beautiful pieces of animation you'll probably ever see, and the song, just the way it's like timed, it's just like incredible. Like it's a fantastic opening, and it's probably one of the best openings probably in several years in anime, in my opinion. It's fantastic. And then my favorite, like,
that My Hero one.
oh, My Hero.
We could go on forever.
Yeah, we can honestly.
You can keep on going. I can't even see the timer. It's okay.
And then like some of my, like, I have 2 favorite classics, and one of them is the very first ever opening for Bleach. I say first ever opening because I think Bleach has like 40 intros. Naruto has over 100 intros.
40?
40, yeah. So like
we anime hard.
Yeah, so shows that like anime that go on for a very long time.
Each
like
season will
every
change.
season has a new opening, and Naruto went on for a very long time. Like I think it was like close to like 1,800 episodes, and it's got over 100 openings. Like it's fucking insane. Bleach did not go on for that long. They cut it off like kind of early at Bleach, but like the very first opening for Bleach ever just like set the tone for that show like really well. Like it's just like really kind of like stylized and like hip hop, and it's like the culture, like really kind of set the tone for that show like almost immediately, and it was just great. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Samurai Champloo's opening with Nujabes, and just the incredible like kind of crossover between real life and the artwork, and just the way the characters are kind of stylized and stuff. Like that's just a classic opening that will always be in my like top 5 openings of all time. So
that's nuts. I'm still getting over. You said Naruto has 100?
I think it's over 100 openings.
Oh my god. I wonder how long would it take to watch all of them?
Probably a while.
Long time.
Yeah, probably a long time. And I would not be surprised. There's probably a playlist on YouTube that has all of them just in a row, one after the other.
Compilation.
Yeah.
If you can get a supercut of all the times Bruce Wayne lost his parents, I'm sure that there's a playlist of all of these movies.
Yeah.
True.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
Did you see the Bruce Wayne parents' death?
No.
I did not.
I don't know if I want to watch that.
I very much don't want to watch that. You'll have to send that to me.
I will send it to you. The best part about it is that they lined up the gunshot. That's the one key lineup. Like, cause like all of these intros are, you know, they're, some of them are super long, some of them are super short, and so they start off at really random spots, and you're like, what's going on? Because you don't know what order they're going with. But then all the clips have the same gunshot time.
Wow. I think another good one that'd probably be super long is like a super cut of how many times Peter Parker's been bitten by that fucking spider. That'd be a very long video as well.
Now, I always talk about how, and I might not actually talk about it in the podcast now I think about it, but oftentimes when I'm talking with my friends about comic book movies, I bring up Into the Spider-Verse just because that is a fantastic movie, not just from comic book angle, but also if you can appreciate good storytelling and great animation, that's high up there.
Yeah. So beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Such a beautiful movie.
And when I think about that spider bite, I love the spider bite from Into the Spider-Verse. Just the casual like flicking of the spider. I'm like,
that was so awesome. Yeah.
Like but on the flip side, I also love the melodrama of Sam Raimi's spider bite, where he gets bit and then he starts to faint and it goes black and all crazy. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, that's if you like the Sam Raimi insane kind of way he films.
Yeah, that's true.
Because what I love about the one Into the Spider-Verse with Miles is just that here's this spider that has so much power that's gonna change his life, and it's just a casual like flick of the spider. I like it that all of those animes you mentioned have crazy intros. But I'm sure all of them have the closing animation of the back of the character looking off in the distance.
Either that,
they all usually have pretty chill.
Either that or them like running into like a sunset for some reason.
Yeah, it's oftentimes them running either at a sunset or towards you, but they're not getting anywhere. They're just running in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like I've seen a lot of characters like standing or sitting somewhere
and
looking at a giant thing like either clouds are going by or a big ship is floating by.
Well, see, because like oftentimes like with anime, like a lot of like the shonen anime, like the bigger ones like Naruto and My Hero and shit, they end on like these huge cliffhangers where you're just like your adrenaline's pumping and you're just like, holy shit, what did I just watch? That was fucking awesome. And then like they just need to
come down or something.
Yeah, you need to like come down. Yeah, you just like you need to come down from this high like real smooth. Otherwise you're gonna have a heart attack. So you need to like just chill out. And it's like, okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. Thanks, anime.
I feel chill now. Now that I'm looking at this girl looking out a window.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God, the credits. Oh my god. Checking your pulse.
Yeah.
Whenever I think about your website's name, Atomized, I often think about Beast Wars.
Beast Wars! I love Beast Wars!
Oh no.
I tried to watch Beast Wars recently.
It's bad.
It's
I loved Beast Wars though.
I respected Beast Wars when I was a kid. Now I have no respect for Beast Wars at all.
Not at all.
It is bad.
It just looks like mush.
Ooh.
I don't even know what it is.
I felt the same way about Reboot. When Reboot was out on Netflix, I was like, oh, I love Reboot. And I was playing, I was like, oh no. I feel like animation, like actual 2D animation, does not age as horribly as CG.
It doesn't.
No, it really doesn't. Like CG is just like, even when you go back to movies and like see the older CG, it's like she said, like old CG is just, it just looks like mush that's just talking to you.
Yeah. And there's video games like that too. Like you try to go back to like old video games that are like CG graphics and you're just like, what in the actual fuck am I looking at? Like, how did I ever play this before? I can't even make out the characters, the background, the foreground. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yep.
I have no idea.
Man, I remember when Turok was amazing.
Oh my god.
Same.
Seriously.
Same. Turok was like the fucking gold standard for graphics back in the day.
Oh my god.
It was so good.
Sad.
But whenever I hear Atomized, I always think about, you know, the whole what was it? When they would say like Optimus. Damn, I'm really messing up. Rat Trap, maximize, like the whole
maximize,
terrorize. And so that's what I think of when I see Atomized. Bryanna Josh, Atomized.
I don't know
so
why, like, the noise of, like, Mario, like, eating the mushroom popped in my head, and it's like, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Well, I was gonna ask a question, but before I get to that question, I'll get there. I'll get there. This is a roundabout way. But you shared the photo of the Nintendo Land, and my God, I want to go.
It's a dream. It's a dream. When you told me about, what was it, like the clouds? The Yoshis.
Yeah.
I literally, like, my mind exploded. I was like, how did I not see that, first of all? And second of all, yes, I want to ride a Yoshi.
Well, I saw the bridge, and I saw like these things, and I'm like, those look like cars of some sort. And I looked at them, I was like, I know those colors. Those are Yoshis.
We need to go.
Yeah, we gotta go so bad.
It looks like it's straight out of a video game.
Yeah. The good news is I'm pretty sure it was greenlit for the Universal out in Hollywood. So we'll probably be getting one there too.
We got our own.
What do you think they'll do about that?
I don't know.
I can guess. They need to get rid of Springfield now.
Because they don't have room for that.
That makes sense though. Well, okay. That makes perfect sense because Disney owns The Simpsons now.
Disney.
So that makes perfect sense that they'll just drop Springfield and replace it with Nintendo.
That means I need to go before they do that because I've wanted to see that. I haven't been in a long time.
Well, Florida has a Springfield and a Marvel Land.
Oh, that's interesting.
I wonder how that's going.
Yeah.
A few years ago I went to the Marvel Land and it's like stuck in the 90s.
Oh, man. It's like we went to Six Flags.
Oh my God.
We went to Six Flags in California and they have all the DC shit, but it's all like this was like all post New 52 and everything, and like it's all still like late 90s DC, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is ridiculous.
So bad.
I mean, the Marvel universe can't update because now Disney has them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Makes sense.
So back to what I was asking, because I just got distracted because I remember you shared that Nintendo Land, and I'm going gaga over it because like I had no reason to want to go to Florida again. I went once and I'm good.
But now, no.
But if they bring Nintendo Land, I'm totally gonna go because that looks amazing. But the reason why I brought Atomized and Transform and Beast Wars is what pop culture vehicle would you want as a mech? Like something, it doesn't have to necessarily transform, but what vehicle would you like to drive that the mech is themed after? Because I saw like the Ecto 1. I saw the Ecto 1 Transformer, and I really want to buy that. I think we even mentioned it in an earlier episode.
That is so rad.
Nice.
I gotta think about that. That's a hard question.
Because I feel like if you say the Batmobile, I'll be like, cool, which Batmobile?
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, fuck.
Actually, in my head, I actually was thinking the Batmobile, and I actually could ask that question. I could answer that question rather. I was honestly gonna say, just because I love the design, I was gonna say the new Batmobile.
Ooh.
That would be kind of cool.
The one for Robert Pattinson's The Batman.
I haven't seen that.
It looks pretty cool.
Is it cool?
Looks cool. It's like they basically they took like just a regular car and just kind of armored it up and just put like a jet engine in the back.
Okay.
It looks amazing. Like it's very raw and like visceral. It looks super cool.
I think it looks better than the Tumbler.
It actually does. It's more Batmobile than the Tumbler.
Right. Okay. Well, since like I don't have an idea of what I would want for mine, and this just literally popped in my head for no reason at all, has no right to be there. How about Baby Driver's WRX?
All right.
I'll accept that.
Thank you.
I like it.
I am so bummed about Baby Driver because like I want more people to see it, but I always have to add the saying by the way Kevin Spacey's in this.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
True.
I know. But it was still such a good movie.
I love the hell out of that.
Look at it. Tell them that he's in it, but he gets his comeuppance in the movie.
True.
But I feel like a lot of times when I tell people about Jeepers Creepers, about how you can't watch Jeepers Creepers, I feel a similar thing with Kevin Spacey is that I'm like, it's a cool film, but
True.
Fair enough.
and I really like the Jeepers Creepers films. I thought they were very scary and fun, but I can't watch them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I really like them too. That's super sad.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of the world sucking, which it is a lot.
yes, there's quite a lot going on. It's quite heated right
It's
now.
a pretty heavy time.
And what's awful is that this bowl of Question Crunch will come out in a few weeks, and we don't know what's gonna happen within a few weeks.
I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Honestly,
Yeah.
With everything, I mean, it just seems like Jumanji. Like, I know a lot of people are like joking and saying that, but it seriously does. It's
Crazy.
a crazy time right now.
It's nuts because like I'm thinking of the me when this bowl airs, and like I feel like I should be apologizing to the me. I feel like me now should apologize to me there and be like, I'm sorry, I was so innocent.
Exactly.
True.
Like each day we get closer to like a Mad Max world or
Yeah.
something. Each day.
It's weird that you say Mad Max because like when I used to hate the first Mad Max movie. It wasn't Road Warrior. I think it was just Mad Max, right? Or was it Road Warrior?
It was the Road Warrior.
It was Road
Okay.
Warrior.
Yeah.
I thought that was boring because it's not the hardcore post-apocalypse that I would expect, because it feels like there's too much society still left.
Yeah.
And
Sure,
as I'm in society right now, still holding on to society, I'm just like, that seems more realistic.
True.
I like to think that the Mad Max films actually really are just a timeline, and just the further along we
Seriously.
go, the
Seriously.
shittier it gets. So like, yeah, you start with the Road Warrior, and then you have Mad Max 2,
And then
Fury
you're
Road.
yeah.
By the
Then
time-
you're
yeah.
in like Waterworld at
Yeah,
some point.
By the time you get to Fury Road, the fucking world is just dead, and people are
The
dying
world
of
is, like,
dehydration.
yeah, died, but then like somehow I don't know.
Yeah.
It just goes there, man.
Yeah.
I agree completely, and because like I said, I didn't like the first one, but now as I'm seeing the world unfold, I'm just like, huh.
Yeah.
People would cling on to society for dear life.
Yes, they would, as they are. As they are.
It's true.
One thing I really want to ask, because of all the craziness that's going on, particularly the protests and the very valid and very important protests that are going on, and you two both being in such deep into pop culture, what do you think pop culture should do to help with Black representation?
That's all it is it needs representation. Like,
Mhm.
there needs to be more. They need to hire, Black creators, Black illustrators, artists, but it's more than that. Like, in pop culture, in like TV shows and movies and comics, which we've seen, I mean, in recent time, but like I said, it's only been recent time that we're starting to see more of that representation. But what I would really like to see is Black leaders. I want to see leaders. Like, I don't want to see supporting actors or supporting actresses. I want to see leaders. And we've had some of that, but I think it would help to see more leads, to hire more Black people, or just people of color in general, and trans, queer, like we need representation in all of these areas. People need to feel like, how could I put it? It's really hard.
You're doing a great job so far.
Yeah, it's really hard to put it into words, but like that helps empower people and communities, and like ultimately it'll help for people to kind of like, I don't want to say this, it's hard for me to put it, but like it'll help people like normalize, like not look at people with the prejudices that they do, like it'll help. I don't know, because like I've noticed that people generally like go off of like how people are portrayed in like movies and TV and things like that. And I think that if Black people saw more, and if like just everybody else saw more, it would normalize a lot of things, truthfully. That's just at least how I feel. Like I think that they wouldn't see people as, I don't know, thugs or whatever the hell they're saying these days.
Okay, I think like, and a lot of companies are in a good position to do that, and I think that that's really something that they need to just follow through, like commit to it. Like
they do need to
think
commit.
The best example that I can think of that could go either direction right now is Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like Chris Evans passes it on to Sam Wilson's character, to Sam Wilson, and like it's like, don't downplay Captain America now.
No.
He's been your A+ player since the beginning. He's been a main character in that universe since the very beginning. Just because he's not Chris Evans, don't downplay him.
Yeah.
Like
don't put him on the back seat and put somebody else in charge. Like
exactly. Like he's still just as important as a character, even though he's Sam Wilson now.
Yeah.
Like don't like follow through. Like commit to it.
Give him a badass Winter Soldier script. Give him some story. Come on.
Yeah. And make a Moon Girl movie. Yeah. It's needed.
I've often told people that I still think that the thing that would really help acceptance and get rid of plenty of racism is you got to go with the cartoons.
Yeah. That's true.
I feel like there's too like and I don't want race to be like the focal point, or sexuality, or gender. I don't want that to be the focal point. I would love to see just a cartoon of a Black kid just like getting stuck in some crazy land with dinosaurs, and now you're teaching kids about dinosaurs. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just normal. Yeah, but like what do I want to say? Like I miss cartoons like I was just talking to a friend the other day about like Captain Planet. Like we were reminiscing about it. Like remember the diversity that was in that show? Like that was just like that. Like it wasn't like in your face. It wasn't like, oh, like, this guy's Black. Like it was just like that. It was just diverse, and like, and same with the Magic School Bus, because they're the same kids, they just grew up.
Yeah.
And there was another one I had in my mind, but it popped out.
I feel like those two examples are great examples of diversity. I feel like even though Recess had plenty of diversity, the main kid is still a white cisgender boy.
Yeah.
And
versus
he was like their leader.
Yeah.
He was the very clear-cut leader, but like in those shows like Magic School Bus, like Captain Planet, like there is no leader. You know? Like,
and I mean, like if there was a leader, it wasn't Captain Planet, it was more Gaia.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, and that was like what, like a Brazilian woman, and like I don't know what that, like. So it's like, I don't know. That was a really, really ahead of its time cool show.
Yeah.
It was like about the environment. It was diverse. Like I want to see more stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like, because I was trying to think if I have any complaint about Captain Planet, and because I was thinking like, well, maybe the white guy is still like the leader, and I couldn't even remember his name. I can't remember the name of any of the characters.
Exactly.
However, Magic's, and that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That means that everyone's equal.
Yeah.
Magic School Bus, the one name that always pops in my head is Carlos.
Yeah. See.
Which I think is a good thing. That's interesting. I haven't even thought about the characters' names, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Because you're thinking about the science first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for.
Yeah.
I want more cartoons that educate kids in a very entertaining way. We've already mentioned Hysteria on this podcast a million times, but it's still a good example of how much I love teaching kids with fun, with humor.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
if you could if you could leave this planet, which I would understand, what fictional planet would you want to go to?
Where would you go?
So this was actually actually a difficult question because I feel like so many pop culture things are like they're still on Earth, you know. So it's like,
Yeah.
what fucking planet am I gonna go to? Because most of the stuff.
Krypton.
Oh yeah, great. Sabotage
That's
me
actually
right now.
one of the things we were talking about is like, I mean, if we went to like, I don't know, what is it, Namek, like it gets blown up. If we went to Nemesis on like Sailor Moon, it gets blown up. If we stay on Earth with Sailor Moon, it gets blown up. Yeah. If we stay on Earth with Dragon Ball, it gets blown up. It's really difficult.
It's difficult. Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of a hard question. Like, where would I want to live? And I got like really, really scary into it because I was like, what about like a different reality? Like, or like, if it was like.
So I would accept other Earths.
Other Earths.
We did come to a consensus. However, the planet doesn't have a name.
I hope I didn't make a fight happen because that would.
No. We fully 100%. This is why we are literally best friends because we fully 100% agree.
It would be like the best planet. So.
I love you both because you're such amazing best friends. You are fantastic people. But go on. Sorry.
So, have you ever heard of a film called Interstellar 45? So it's Interstellar 5555.
No.
Okay. So Interstellar 5555 is an anime film, but there's no dialogue in it whatsoever. There's also very few sound effects. The entire film is set to the album Discovery by Daft Punk from beginning to end.
Yes.
Holy shit.
That's the whole film. It's an incredible film.
So awesome and beautiful, and like the story is amazing. Just they tell the story with the songs and like it's amazing. You definitely fantastic. If you would love it. You need to watch this.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna check it out tonight.
Yeah.
That sounds phenomenal.
I'll send
We've been keeping that one in our back pocket.
We'll send it over to you so you can like check it out. Like it's fantastic.
And that's my plan for tonight. That just sounds great.
It's great. And the main characters are aliens. And the planet that they're on is this like beautiful, like just musical planet. And it's like very peaceful, like it's very much like a utopia. And everyone just loves to dance and have fun. And it is just like it's a great planet to be on.
Yeah,
so we're just like
beautiful.
That's good. Like there seems like there's very little threat
harmonious,
here.
I guess.
It's very
harmonious, peaceful, and I was like, it doesn't blow up. So yeah, good.
Yeah,
good with that.
It doesn't blow up. It's also stylish as fuck.
Yeah,
so
very futuristic.
Yeah,
very Daft Punk.
Yeah.
So
that is what we came to a consensus on for a planet to leave Earth for.
And with that, we are ending our podcast episode. Can I hear your website again? Your website, social media, all the stuff that people can find you on.
Yeah, you can find us at atomizeshop.com. We're on Instagram and Facebook at atomizeshop. Check us out.
Yeah.
Do you want the individual Instagrams or just that? Do you want to focus on Atomized?
Well, we can. I mean, if you want to follow,
it's up to you.
Or look, if you want to look at me being like a weird punk rock like edgelord, that's at the Red Hatter.
And mine is at PHRHD. I just spell it out because there's no vowels in my name, so.
And is there a pickles one?
And yes, so if you want to check out my cat, and I don't update her at all, but it is still very funny and very fun to look at. It is my roommate Pickles with, is it just one M? Or what is it? I know I spelled it wrong.
It might just
it's actually hilarious because I was like, wait, I spelled this wrong. Fuck. Yeah,
I think it's my roommate Pickles.
Yeah.
So.
And do you have any last words to give anyone who's interested in creating art that they love and not just do a passion project kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, I would say follow through. If you decide that you're going to do something, just follow through. Like, I know, like, it can be hard and, like, there are tough days. For sure, you get, block or whatever, but just pick yourself back up and give it your best. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Likewise, just don't get discouraged.
Don't give up.
Things are oftentimes not fun when you're really kind of getting into the nitty-gritty of art. But once you get to the fun part, it is very much well worth it.
Yeah.
So,
and I would say, too, fail fast. Like, if you're going to fail, keep fucking failing until you reach where you're trying to be.
Yeah.
Just keep failing.